How are we doing? Is everybody awake? It was lunchtime. We got to wake back up here. I am so excited to be here. My name is Grant Lacy. I am the owner of Unlimited Innovations of Florida, where we think outside the box. We are a minimalistic welding and fabrication shop located in Fort Myers, Florida. We specialize in aluminum, especially gates and railings. So without further ado, we'll start rolling through the presentation here. So, a little over a year ago, 100% self-funded, we invested $40,000 in what was a dream. We dreamed of having our own business, and so with that $40,000 investment, we tested the third quarter of last year, part-time. I very much had a very full-time job. And by the fourth quarter, I was leaving the security of a six-figure salary for life as an entrepreneur. As you can see, going into this year, we've got some strong numbers. We're really excited. We operate as a company of one. So I'm the designer, the welder, the installer, and so very low overhead. And so we're excited for where we're going from our modest beginnings. So ultimately, to start a company, you've got to see an opportunity, a gap in the market. So I don't know how many of you are from Southwest Florida, but if you've even vacationed there, you can tell that there is a crazy amount of construction, and it's growing tremendously. You take a brief look at the map there, and you can tell the projections are incredible. So with that increase in population, the welding shops that do exist are stressed with a lax labor force. Only so many welders are coming online, like many trades. So with that being said, with that stress, there comes a lack of quality. And on top of that lack of quality, if you want a gate for your home, you might be waiting 6 months. So with that, we saw an awesome opportunity. The increase in population, people like the sense of security. You come home, you hit a button, your gate opens, you drive through, and it closes, right? That's a good feeling. So Unlimited Innovations, we operate a little bit different than our competition. We provide a seamless process from start to finish. We start with the design phase. So it is our vision, it is our desire to make sure that our customer's vision is our vision before we ever touch a piece of metal. If we're not on the same page, then we can never create what you desire, right? So we make sure that we're on the same page with that, and once that's agreed upon, we move right into the welding stage, the production, the fabrication. That's what I'm passionate about. I love it. It's a creative outlet, and it's incredible to take a 24-foot stick of material and create something like this. This is one of our current projects that we're working on. Not a finished product, obviously it needs some powder coating, but to be able to create this out of just a stick, right? So once that's done, we offer installation services. Most welders, they want to just focus on welding. They don't want to see the full picture. And for the customers, you're left with an incredible gate, but it's not hung, doesn't have an operator, and you can't just hit a button and make it open, right? So let's take a look at some of our past customers as well as our current customers. So there's kind of a plethora of different projects here. As we started the company, we had this brilliant idea. We wanted to do live edge tables. I kind of liked woodworking kind of hobby, and we messed with furniture a little bit, and we've come to just do furniture repair for a high-end furniture store, Clive Daniel. We're their preferred welder, so we do a little bit of here and there for them, repairs. Signage, I like the art side of it, so I actually learned how to airbrush to make those signs. So they were kind of an innovative design. It's various plates, so if the resident wants to change out the plates, they can. So up the middle there, you see kind of our main revenue stream, our gates. So those are gates that I saw clear from raw aluminum clear through to the end product. Recently, with the help of seed funding from FGCU, we have expanded into mobile welding. So we invested over $15,000 in a large mobile welder, that generator in the back of our work truck. And I created this modular cart, and I know it's kind of hard to see. However, but what it allows us to do is take TIG welding aluminum, all of our aluminum welding services directly to the customer, which in the welding world, it's hard to do that. So that modular cart allows me to work on boats, do community gates. Anybody that lives in a community with a gate, the gate breaks at some point. I'm the one that you can call and I can fix that. So it's a wonderful thing. We've also come up with some pretty innovative solutions for different warehouses. That's actually City Mattress, Prana Sleep. We created these carts. They had an old design and we completely redid it and came up with an awesome solution for them. So those are these pictures, as well as every other picture in the slide, all projects we've worked on. So why do our customers choose us? So I'm a proud Coast Guard veteran. I served 6 years active duty, and it's my desire to stick to the core values of honor, respect, and devotion to duty. And I believe that if you take those 3 values and you transfer it into business and customer service, and you make sure that you follow through from the start to the end with the customer, they will continue to come back to you. They will continue to choose you for their projects. So moving on from that, it's nice to have a welding license. It's actually pretty easy to get in most counties, especially in Florida. We also carry a manufacturing license. However, to have the skills to really back it up, you've got to have some kind of education. I chose one of the most difficult, short of underwater welding. TIG welding aluminum is one of the more difficult processes of welding. So to make sure that I was up to snuff with that, I went up to Troy, Ohio for a couple weeks and really honed in on my skills and made sure that not only we have an awesome company, but I can back it up with my quality. So the cubes in front of you, please, you can inspect them. They're not perfect. I didn't spend hours and hours on them. However, every little one is a little bit different, but it has to be done precisely. Otherwise, it will not look like that. Nor will gates or anything else for that matter. So we're members of American Welding Society, as well as National Ornamental Miscellaneous Metals Association. They're awesome resources. They keep us up to the standards of the industry. And locally, we connect with Texas Metal Industries, which is a aluminum foundry in Texas. They're awesome. They provide us great materials at an awesome price, and they also are happy to refer us, as well as choose us as their main welder for any of their projects. So we'll take a look at some numbers. So year to date, we've cleared $100,000 in gross revenue. After cost of goods, we're a little over 70. You take out all of the expenses, and we've cleared 37. Now, mind you, we invested $40,000 initially. This year alone, we've invested over 40. We'll get to a little bit more here in a minute, but $20,000 in just welding equipment alone. So 71 projects completed this year, which I'm very proud of. Those are invoiced, paid all the way through. But most importantly, 27 customers are what we've served. Though it does not diversify us tremendously, it does show that our services are up to par and up to quality, and they continue to choose us, which is very, very important. It's nice to have a residential here and there, but it's the commercial customers that continue to push us and propel us forward with more and more projects. Forward motion. It's nice to know where you were, right? We all have a past, right? We know where we are right now, but it's really important to project and plan. So for us, about 6 months ago, we realized that, hey, this is taking off. We've got to get some space. So our two-car garage that we currently operate out of is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. I can only build so much things to make it efficient. So ultimately, we have hit a place where approximately $20,000 a month is kind of near our capacity, which is, that's concerning as a business owner. I don't desire to be massive with hundreds of employees. However, I do want to grow and be able to take on large projects. So with that being said, you see the site map here. We actually purchased the lot next to our home. And we invested $20,000 between the lot and 30 dump truck loads of dirt. I was kind of a kid. I went and played with a skid steer for a while. It was a lot of fun. So, but we have the pad for a 30 by 50 shop. So it is our desire to raise the ceiling of capacity through efficiency. So with space, we can have a larger office to be able to function more out of, as well as the shop space, larger equipment, as well as just more options to be able to streamline the process of building gates and all of it. Give you an idea, to build a gate like this was obviously a pair at one point, there's another one. It would take me over 20 hours. Through the efficiency of new welders and better systems, I've been able to drop it down to close to 10 hours, which effectively has doubled what we can make. So we're very proud of that. So, but today we're looking for support. We're, for one, here because we're very grateful for the opportunity to network with incredible people. However, we're searching for support and different options as to how to fund this. Thus far, we're completely debt-free, and that's how we have strived to be. So with that being said, though, we recognize taking on a construction project in this current day and age with the economy, the possibility of a loan is, very evident. So, but we're very excited about the future and where we're headed. So, in life, we're guaranteed two things. We're guaranteed to face change and challenge. When we face challenge in business, we can't help but to go back to the motto of our company of thinking outside the box. When you think outside the box, the possibilities are unlimited. We're so thankful for your time, the opportunity to even be able to stand on the stage in front of you. In this room alone, the time that you've invested to be here. And obviously, the judges here, you guys are making a priority of taking your time this Saturday to be here. And we're very grateful for it. And I'm thankful to be a veteran and be able to serve our great country. And through our business, who knows, maybe the opportunity, I'll build you guys a gate and serve you. So, all right, thank you.
Can you speak to your competitive landscape in Southwest Florida? You talked about opportunity and you talked about a clear demand signal, but who are you competing with?
Yes. So there are a couple of large welding and fabrication shops, which on a small scale, we could be considered a competitor if we're bidding larger jobs, like an entire entrance to a community. However, they're very much, when you get to a certain level in the welding industry, you inevitably go to structural, which is something that we've stayed away from. I like aluminum, I don't really care for steel. So the larger companies, they very much are, they cannot provide a clean, seamless process for, say, a resident. If you wanted a gate for your home, they are not as customer service friendly. It'd be much more of a number. As far as the smaller companies that do exist, many of them are so inundated with industrial projects, or they might say, hey, a company might say we need 100 tanks, and that could be 6 months for that welder, and they could live off that for a year and a half and be happy. We very much have kind of filled the gap in between, where we are working with access control companies that do all of the operators and electronics, and they want to be hands off. They don't want to touch gates. So, but they are the focal point of communities and kind of the networking, where when a gate calls, they call the gate company, but they're not welders. So we very much have kind of inserted ourselves into those companies and networked to where anytime a gate gets hit or broken, they call us. You need mobile welding tomorrow? No problem. $200 an hour, we'll make it happen. And that kind of emergency service has not only, they have gotten praise out of it, but we in turn continue to get work. So as far as our competitors go, very few specialize in gates in particular, and for us, that's our main stream of revenue. So I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
Yes.
So right now, you're the only welder in the company.
That's correct.
Yeah.
We have a couple of future welders there, but
Okay.
we got about 10 years. They were watching through the helmets last night, but
Okay. So
Yes.
the risk is if something happens to you, the work gets cut off. What are your plans to maybe bring on other welders or have some greater capacity where you may not hit a ceiling with?
Yeah, absolutely. So we kind of knew getting into it. I read the book of A Company of One by Paul Jarvis, and I loved it because my quality is my quality. If there's an issue, it's my issue, right? So, but with that, it's a huge risk. If I cut off a finger, it's a problem. So I do have a couple brothers that are both welders in Ohio, so if I twisted their arm enough, we could probably get them down to Florida. However, I have networked with, there's a gentleman named Tim Greenwell, and he is a local high school welding teacher. So we've started making some networks to where I can start to get an apprentice in the future, and ultimately with a shop and some space, bringing on a helper, it's going to have to happen at some point, as much as I love the concept of Company of One. Yes.
For sure. Okay, great.
In the event that you would get some monetary gain from this competition here, how would you invest that primarily?
Yes, our shop is our main priority at this moment. We've invested 20 in it already, and we have another 10 ready to go. We are kind of exploring different loan avenues. However, anything that we're able to gain out of this competition, whether it be monetarily or just through connections as far as networking and different options, money is nice, but I believe that the network and the connection is really where it's at. I think that could be much more valuable in the future.
Grant, from where do you source your materials, and have you experienced any delay with the supply chain issues that were going on there?
Thankfully, we haven't. Not at this point in time. We had a little blurb in our supply chain for any LiftMaster products. They got sued for and got put in layaway for 30 days. However, as far as our aluminum goes, so the trend obviously with inflation, it has been going up, and we did experience a pretty big inflation on it. However, it's starting to plateau and level out a little bit. So the products in which we use are readily available, and if our main supplier does have any issues, we do have multiple other ones, even so far as going to Tampa. So.
And in your math, you counted some 71 jobs from 27 clients. So it seems like you're doing multiple jobs on site with each client, and you're grossing at about close to $4,000 per job. What does that look like out on the job site? Is you doing a fence and a gate, or is that what you're finding when you get on site? They're finding a need for more than one item?
Well, as far as our customers are very diverse. So something as simple as, we do a lot of shop work. A lot of our shop work is $125 an hour, and it's very much we have a large enclosed trailer that serves as a mobile shop. So some of our stuff is pick up and work on it and deliver it back, and fixing furniture. Thankfully they're right next to our supplier, so they'll call us up and broke piece of furniture, no problem, $125, small weld, and on we go, which is nice, keeps money going. The larger products, something such as gates like this, it's a 4 to 6 week turnaround. But gates like this very easily are $5,500 to $6,500, and they have good returns all the way around. Some of the more, we just got commissioned to do a large barn door for an interior designer. We've done some work out on Sanibel, And they, you know, that takes a while. We start planning now for something that might come in August. So we also work with general contractors, and we've done everything from dumpster enclosure gates to full-blown railings and very intricate designs as far as I could show you here. Oh, there we go. One more. So that top center, that was actually a job that we just recently bid, but just those railings alone, and that's a design that I did. She showed me a couple pictures, but completely to scale. That would be $14,500 to complete that with a lot of very custom work. So, but mainly labor time on something like that. But there's our mobile shop, and that's actually we're contractors for Lee Health. So yesterday I intended on being here, however they needed a ADA railing, so that's where I was yesterday. I was taking care of putting in a railing. So, yep. And anytime, that's around their helicopter pads. Anytime it gets hit with a semi-truck, we get a phone call too. That's happened a couple times. So I hope that that answered your question.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.